Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share some new releases like over the past year that have come out that I am absolutely not interested in and will not be purchasing. So I share with you guys a lot about the ones that I absolutely love. Sometimes it's good for you to know what I don't like and why. So I'm gonna share those with you. I've got 5 for you today, but before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. If you already are a part of the Weird and Wonderful, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. And without further ado, let's get into this. So I thought I would start with my very least favorite out of the new releases, and that is Good Fortune by VIKTOR and ROLF. Now, first of all, I think that the bottle is extremely ugly. Now, again, all of this is subjective. If you love it, you go ahead and love it. That's why there's so many perfumes out there. So I'm just going to give you my honest opinion. I don't like the bottle. There's nothing that appeals to me about the bottle. I don't find it super tacky or anything like that. But to me, the color of it doesn't do anything for me. Somehow it just feels lackluster and I don't like it. It's just a bulb, like a round bulb to me. The fragrance inside to me comes across extremely powdery. It's got fennel in, which is kind of an interesting note. Fennel can smell a little bit licoricey to me, but to me, it just overall came across as powdery and kind of perfumey. So it smelt a little bit old school to me, or mature, I guess, like something that my grandma back in the 70s would have worn. That's kind of what it reminded me of. I think it just because it felt really powdery and perfumey somehow. So I didn't even want to try it on my skin. It just was kind of disappointing. And I think it was even more disappointing because VIKTOR and ROLF, they've had some super popular releases, Bon Bon, the Flower Bomb series. Then they had that series with the Dancing Roses, I believe it was, ones like that were so beautiful. So was a little bit disappointed in this one for sure. Second fragrance that I will not be purchasing. It makes me sad because I really enjoy the opening, but it's Burberry Her Elixir. I've talked about this quite a lot. I love that kind of berries and cream feel. And in the opening, it's just amazing. Like I'm in love with it. And I wished that it would stay that way because it's such a beautiful fragrance. But on me, when it dries down, it just goes chemically. So some people liken it to like a Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't get Baccarat. I get, like, I see where they're going with it, but I just get kind of the synthetic-y aspect of that, I guess. So I'm not going to even go for it. Like sometimes if a dry down is challenging, I can kind of get past it if I really, really love it. And sometimes I end up enjoying it. This one, it doesn't matter how many times I've tried it, from the Elixir to Burberry Her Intense to Burberry Her Original. I love that opening so good, but on my skin with my chemistry, for whatever reason, it just goes extremely, not even synthetic, chemical. So for that reason, I'm out. Next new release that I am saying no to is Scandal Le Parfum. Now, I tried it in store, gave myself a good spray, and I was at first absolutely enamored with it. So it smelled sweet. There was a bit of powderiness to it. It just smelled delicious. Like I loved it, and I thought to myself, I'm for sure getting it. And that's the problem with openings. A lot of times openings trick me. As it dried down, it was still nice, but to me it smelled a lot like hypnotic poison, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more, but the almond really comes out in Scandal Le Parfum, and it's quite powdery. Supposedly the notes in Scandal Le Parfum are jasmine, caramel, salt, and vanilla. Now, we know with Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances that they only give you a few of the notes and then slowly they release more. It definitely smelled all almond-centric to me. I didn't notice any salt. I didn't even really notice the jasmine. So at first it was sweet, it was delicious. I was getting that caramel, and I thought to myself, oh, I've got to have it. But as it dries down on the skin, it gets very almondy slash powdery, and it felt very much like Hypnotic Poison. So that one is not one of my favorites. If you like Hypnotic Poison, you should definitely try Scandal Le Parfum, because yeah, it is pretty, but that's just not my favorite. That kind of almond sweet, like almond icing feel, or like some people associate it with a doll's head or that kind of thing, plasticine or Play-Doh, that's the one. None of that turns my crank. I hated the smell of doll heads growing up, like literally, like it would just, like I couldn't handle it. I could not smell Play-Doh. In fact, I could barely use Play-Doh because I hated the smell of it so much. So, and even like homemade Play-Doh, the smell of homemade Play-Doh, yeah, I couldn't take it. So like that kind of doughy, almondy, sweet vibe is definitely in Scandal Le Parfum. So if you like that, you should definitely get your nose on it. But for me, it was so similar to Hypnotic Poison. I'm not really a fan of that profile anyway, so it's a pass. Now the next fragrance, I kind of cringe saying this because I know it's getting a lot of love and a lot of you really like this fragrance. It's just a little bit boring to me, and it is Prada Paradoxe. Now, a lot of people are really loving it. You know, when something just doesn't resonate with you, that's Prada Paradoxe for me. Now, I know it's juicy and vivacious, and the notes definitely seem like something that I would like. So it's got pear, tangerine, bergamot in the opening, orange blossom, neroli, jasmine, and then you have bourbon, vanilla, benzoin, amber, musk, that kind of thing. The thing is that I've smelt a lot of those fragrances, and they're juicy, they're vivacious, they're fun. But for me, it's like if you've got one in your collection, how many more do you need? Like of that kind of style of fragrance. So there's some styles that I'm like, I love it, and I could have like many different variations and would be great. This is one that just kind of didn't really impress me. Like I wasn't wowed by it. So it's one I'm going to pass on, but I totally get why people do enjoy it. But for me, it was just kind of lackluster. Like, oh yeah, another one of those. You know, I put Prada Paradoxe in with things like My Way, like the Montperry line. Those are super popular. I don't like any of those. Yeah, and again, sometimes fragrances, I find that fragrances with benzoin tend to be a bit tricky on my skin. So I don't know if benzoin and me just don't get along, but a lot of times they go kind of like chemically again, like I was saying. So like I love the opening of Montperry fragrances, like that whole line. Love the opening of My Way. Love the opening of Paradoxe, but they just don't necessarily play good with my skin chemistry. So Paradoxe, again, fits that bill, kind of juicy, kind of happy, vivacious, but I'm not getting it. Plus, to be honest, I don't like the bottle. Bottles are a huge deal to me, and just the shape of the bottle, everything about the bottle to me is just boring, and it doesn't fit right. It's not classy to me, and I'm not into it. It looks like they tried to be innovative, but I don't think that they succeeded. Last fragrance, this one is a bizarre one because I actually like the fragrance. I don't love it, but I do like it. So it is Fame by PACO Rabanne. Now, what's exciting about the Fame one and why I was like super excited to try it was because it has a mango note, and I really enjoy mango. In the opening, you have mango and you've got bergamot, super juicy. Love that mango, like bit of kind of a tartness. Awesome. Then it has jasmine and albanum in it, and the base is vanilla and sandalwood. Now, for whatever reason, it feels like a little bit kind of prickly in the opening, not prickly in a bad way, but kind of just fizzy almost. Yeah, I get kind of a fizzy vibe from it. And I really enjoyed that opening on my skin. As it dried down, it just smelled kind of like another fruity floral. It was happy, but it was just kind of a little bit boring to me. It's still really a nice fragrance. The reason why I'm saying no to it is that bottle. Now, I know some people like kind of fun, kitschy type bottles. To me, Carolina Herrera's Good Girl bottles, like the shoe, I hate the shoe. Like, I'm not a fan of the shoe. I don't like big, bulbous, weird bottles. And so, like, the little robot thing, I think it's ugly. Like, I just, to me, I wouldn't put that on my shelf as art. Now, a regular bottle, like a Coco Mademoiselle bottle, absolutely beautiful. The Xerjoff bottles from the Casmerati line in particular, they're a little bit different, but they're just so beautiful. I like a more traditional style bottle, but when they get kitschy, like for instance, Cacharel's Yes I Am bottles, I've thought about buying it because I actually don't mind the fragrance. I cannot stand those lipstick, plasticky looking bottles. Like, I don't even understand. Like, why would you do that? Why would you put them in those bottles? Now, I understand some of you might like those bottles. Me, on the other hand, I just think they look so tacky. So I don't want a shoe. I don't want a purse. I don't want big, huge bulbous flowers on them. I don't want the robot. I don't want the lipstick. I want a proper bottle. You can do so many gloriously beautiful things to bottles to make them unique and stand out rather than doing weird, like robot-y looking tacky scenarios. So the fragrance, I'm not entirely against that bottle, fully against the bottle. So you know, that might be one that I would buy a travel spray of. So we'll see. So PACO Rabanne, to me, like, they sometimes really nice bottles. Like the XS bottle, not bad. The Olympia bottles, nice, like really nice. I love them actually. But like the million bottles, like the weird like money shaped bottles or the diamond shaped bottles for girls, so tacky and ugly. Like, I won't buy one of them because of that bottle as well. And then this one, the robot, like, it's totally a no for me. So those are the 5 that I'm definitely saying no to. I'm excited to see what comes out for 2023. There are still fragrances that have come out that I have yet to try from 2022, but out of the ones that I have tried, these are definitely the ones that are an absolute no for me for whatever reason. So what about you? What are your absolute no's? And if you have a different opinion than me, please share that in the comments. It's so important. We're allowed to have differing opinions, and it's important that they're vocalized, because as a forum, we need to be able to go, oh, I don't like that perfume. This is why. And you may love the style of bottle. That is fine. It's absolutely okay for you to like it and to share that just so that people get other viewpoints, because everybody's different. And I think it's really important to realize you're never alone. So, you know, I sometimes will hear people go, I don't understand what's wrong with me. I just don't like that fragrance. Nothing is wrong with you. You are you, and you're allowed to like and not like whatever you like or not like. It's totally okay. And for you, like, it may not be the most popular view out there, or it may be one that isn't heard as much, but there's hundreds of people that agree with you. You just haven't heard them yet. So anyway, that is it. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.